You understand, Justin was so excited about this because this dude thinks he's a little chef himself.
Hey, food Network me, man.
He be cooking on the gram. I'm like, yo, wait until I'll show you a real chef. Somebody really put it down. Nah, I ain't go front. Justin cooked some oxtails the other night. I was like, yo, he did that.
Hey, it was Juneteenth. I had to do it for the culture, man. You know what I mean?
Nigga.
But I mean, enough about. I'm not really, Chef K. You were a real chef. How did you get into becoming like a professional chef? Like, what avenues led you to this career?
I always had a lot of jobs when I was in high school because I had homeschool.
Right.
And so I just when it came down to trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I always loved music, right? And I'm like, just being that was 2007. So it wasn't Instagram. It was like barely MySpace. It wasn't none of that other stuff, and it seemed like the music industry to me seemed so like far out of my reach. But I knew that I had a passion for cooking and I knew I liked cooking. I knew that whatever career I picked, and that goes for anybody, whatever career that we pick, we know that we're going to have to work hard at it because nothing is easy, right? But you just got to enjoy what you're doing.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I felt like becoming a private chef was a lot more tangible than maybe the music industry. So I was like, I want to be a private chef for celebrities. And I was thinking in the music industry, and I can travel with them and I can do this and I can do that. And so that's really how it came about. I was like, I want to be a private chef. I Googled, I seen they make over 6 figures. I said, sign me up.
and it's dope. It's dope because not a lot of people know when to kind of change course. Some people will run their head into the wall multiple times, knowing that this probably isn't going to work out for them the way that they want to. And you caught on to it early.
Yeah, I've just always been a realist, just coming from my background, my mom, and just what I'm just used to. I always just am I'm gonna just be realistic about this situation. I went to culinary school, and I just been 10 toes down ever since. I've just been making sure I've just been consistent in what it is that I do. That's being a chef and being a private chef, and talented, and I'm good. And I was one of the first in my city.
Yeah.
And in this, I feel like in this generation, I was one of them ones. I was one of the first. I don't know who else because I don't really keep up with other people, but I know for sure me because I just remember being embarrassed, not embarrassed, but as soon as I was done with school, I'm coming out my chef coat and I'm fitting in with my friends because wasn't nobody else doing what I was doing.
Right.
Man, that's a great point.
So I think that also helped me stand out because it wasn't nobody else doing what I was doing. So it's to know that, well, she's a chef. Now we know a bunch of chefs. Being a chef is cool now, but I think coming up and being 15 years in, being ahead of the curve, it was I put that stamp on who I was and I stood on that,
Right.
So.
No, I love that. It's interesting that you said that too, because before, 2017 or 2007, 2006, even there wasn't Instagram as prevalent as it was. And there's so many chefs on Instagram now, everyone's a chef on Instagram. And that wasn't something that was going on back then. So I definitely can attest to seeing you being one of the first that kind of stepped out of there in our kind of generation or era.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I remember, cause Instagram came out in 2011, but, I remember just searching the internet and trying to figure out how do you become a private chef? How do you do this? There was no tutorial. I remember reading something saying that becoming a private chef is one of the rarest jobs in the world.
Damn.
Wow.
There's no, even with getting with an agency, if you was to get with an agency, they want you to have 5 years of in-home experience already.
Damn.
Well, how am I supposed to have in-home experience if I can't get a job? You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm coming to an agency to get a job, So I remember I signed up with some of these agencies and they wasn't really giving me work. And now it's to the point where I get so many stuff in my email and I don't even look at them. And one of the last conversations I remember having with one of the people, I was like, well, I work for this person, that person, this person. I can give y'all some help, some work. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and they're just wow, and it started being these check-in calls where instead of them telling me they got this lame ass job that I would pass on, like I would be like, oh, well, I'm already like doing X, Y, and Z. So that was also a nice little, you know, something for me to feel like I really accomplished, because it was like there wasn't a script. You feel me? Like I feel like I contributed to the private chef game 100%. You know what I mean? Like
that's real. Nah.
I've been doing the same thing on Instagram since I got on it.
Right.
So if you've been paying attention and been tapped in, then you see it. I gave you the blueprint.
Consistency. We love that. I love that. So no, this is great, because like I really want to know like what's your like day to day like with your clients, and like I know you have you're the head chef at 40 Love now. So like how do you balance your days?
It's so funny, because before I got on before this call, I was talking to my mom, and I don't talk to her all the time, but when I talk to her, we talk long. And she was just like, I'm not gonna lie, you know, sometimes I'd be a little jealous, wishing I was doing what you was doing. And I was like, which part? The part where I'm slaving every day? Like, she was like, oh, I know, huh? It probably is. You probably are working all day. I said, all day, every day. She was like, well, okay, maybe the parts that look real fun. And I was like, oh, okay. The parts where I have to work 6 days a week or 7 days a week for weeks at a time to have fun for 3 days. Like, but no, my day-to-days are really hectic, you know, for a long time, especially. It wasn't as extreme as it is now, but I was just this morning, and it's funny, I almost posted it on my Instagram, but I didn't. But I was sitting in my office downstairs, and I'm like, damn, like I got home at 1 o'clock in the morning yesterday from work. I got to work at 9 a.m.
Damn.
I had 5 clients yesterday. I sent 3 of those in an Uber to them. All wanted it at the same time. One came and picked it up for me. I left, got asked to come back to work. And then when I left, I had left and stopped by 40 Love. You know what I mean? I'm leaving one client to go by my restaurant, tap in, see what's going on over there, just to show face. And, you know, with 40, I am the executive chef over there. And my duty is to really, you know, come up with new menu items, recipes, but also just like maintain the quality control. We do have like a full, you know, staff, and I do have a head chef over there who, you know, is making sure that runs the day to day, since I definitely couldn't be there. But just to go back to what we were originally saying, you know, my day to days are never the same. They're never the same. Like I said, I did all that yesterday. I woke up at 8:30 this morning. I'm like, fuck. I woke up late. I woke up late. I usually wake up at 5:30, 6. And I had to have my first client's meal to her. I needed to call the Uber and have it in the Uber by 11 a.m. So I had 9 to 11 to cook the food. That's 2 hours. Today was like technically my off day. So I still had a client. I did 2 meals for her, sent it in an Uber. And then today I was able to run a couple errands. But tomorrow it'll be back. And then it was nice because 2 of my clients went out of town yesterday, but They get back tonight. So I'll be at work. I'll have 3 clients that I need to send their food out in Ubers, and then we just gonna take it from there. But I was saying that to say, after I cooked her food, I went upstairs and I was like, okay, now let me print these orders, because, you know, I have my own seasoning too.
Damn.
So it was like, I was at work all day yesterday. By 2 o'clock, I was tired as fuck. Like I was tired as fuck. And I was like, I'm not even halfway done with the day. And like, as the evening was approaching, it's, you know, 10 hours ahead in London. So it's like 3, 4, and everybody in London is like watching the show on the group chat. And they're, you know, commenting on the show. And I'm like, damn, I'm over here at Puff's house working, and my show's on TV right now. Wow. You know? and then I wake up in the morning and I get right back. I go to sleep for a couple hours, jump right back into work. Then as soon as I'm done with that, I'm like, now let me go upstairs. Let me pack these orders for my seasoning. And then let me go take these seasonings. Okay, now what else? Okay, I have a little bit of time before I have to get on this call, you know, later. So I went and like ran a couple errands. But it's just always, always, always different. But for the most part, I'm cooking every day.
That was I'm stressed just hearing that.
I'm sure I probably could have simplified that a little bit, but it's a lot. Like, I have the seasonings, I have my restaurant, I have my day-to-day clients that I juggle 3 to 4 a week. I have the show, and then I have all the extracurricular activity things that I squeeze in, that the projects that I work on, whether it's Pinterest ads or whether it's, you know, a podcast that I'm gonna be on Chef Elisa podcast. That's airing, I think, on Friday. Hers was pre-recorded. But, like, you know, I get asked to do other things too. So it's just always something.
Well, we appreciate you having time in your busy schedule to even to do this. You know, we live on AMP right now with Chef KK, Josh Pease, MC. One thing I did notice about private chefs, I don't see a lot of Black women in the space. And I wanted to know, like, was that something that was a hindrance? Was it something that was kind of a blocker for you trying to come up?
I don't want to say that it was a blocker or a hindrance to me, because I think what has been for me has made its way very naturally to me. Mm-hmm. But I will say that it's not a lot of African Americans, women in a lot of spaces. And I think that now more than ever, we are starting to get more opportunity, and people want to give us that opportunity because they see it's not a lot of us in these spaces. And so I credit a lot of the last couple years of what I've been doing to that, because there's nobody that looks like me mm-hmm. in this space. I'm young, I'm pretty, I'm hip, you know, I'm cool. And,
it's true.
And it's different, you know, and they want to see that. They're like, oh shit, it don't have to be an old, stuffy, stuck up white person, male or woman.
No, it's so real, because I grew up watching, like, the Food Network. Like, I would watch that shit when I was younger, like when Emeril and all that shit was popping. And to think, like, Emeril Lagasse was the cool guy. Like, think about that. That's an old ass Italian nigga just saying black phrases. Damn,
I think he was Creole, bro.
Yeah, I think he was Creole. He was just he's Creole for sure.
Yeah, like white, you know, French, white, black type of thing. And exactly, he was, because he was still like a white man. You look at him and you'll think white, but he had that flavor. He was like, boom, bam, you know, like, so it was giving you that hip, you know, black vibe, because everything is based around food, believe it or not, you know what I mean? Our culture. And I think I love that so many Black people are like so into food more now, you know, because our food is more than just like fried chicken and collard greens. Yeah. We make everything taste good. We add the sauce, we add the sizzle, we add the KK sizzle to everything. You know what I mean? To anything. Everybody takes what we bring to the table. Like, everybody eating off our table anyway. So it's like, of course, like, why wouldn't we be on the forefront? But I do think that it's a very sensitive position. It's a very, like I said, rare job. And a lot of times people, let me say this. Like, this is what I don't like sometimes. And I'm gonna just say what I don't like and what I think that
the floor is yours. The floor is yours. You got it.
Yeah. I think that African American women are getting a lot more opportunities, and it's a good thing, but white is always right. And if you're white, and if you're a white man, you're going to get it first. And if you're a white woman, you're going to get it second. And then if you're a Black man, you might get it third. And then if you're a Black woman, you might get it fourth.
Right.
And so on and so forth, you know. But I will say that the Black girls that I do be seeing on Instagram cooking, y'all need to keep y'all titties in y'all shirt.
Hey, I've come across a lot of TikTok videos where women, that's definitely what I see.
Is that what's going on out there? It's aesthetic.
I think so, because it's like you're either like a square, or you think you're like the Megan Thee Stallion of cooking, and like nobody wants that. Like,
I love that.
Who wants to be around that? Like, you need to dumb it down and like really like hone in on your profession, especially if you're in the space of like the celebrities and athletes that I've been in for the last 15 years. Like, that's not gonna give you no extra points.